All right, let's get right into it here. Good morning to you, Colleen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to be back in the station.
I know. It's always great to have you on the show. It's great that we can talk about real estate. So many questions. There's never a drought of questions when it comes to real estate. So what we're going to talk about first off is, okay, you want to sell your house.
Yes.
And you've got an inspector coming in. How do you prepare for it? So I think the first question is here, inspection checklist for sellers. First off, you want to clean and declutter.
Yeah, so let's focus. Everybody's got different angles on inspection. So when we talk about when you're selling your home and now your home is possibly conditionally sold.
Okay, right.
Right? Or you're going to do a pre-inspection. We've talked about that many times on the show. Maybe you want to do a pre-inspection before you even sell your home. Depends on what is the considerations.
Okay.
Yet when you are having an inspector in your home, make sure as well that the inspector, is qualified.
Okay.
So, and that for the sellers, make sure that your home is decluttered because a lot of times inspectors will not move the boxes away from, let's say, the basement, right? Basement is storage. And so a lot of times they won't move it out and they may put like, say, I couldn't inspect the walls downstairs. I couldn't gain access to the furnace room. So it's really very important to declutter so that they can see the foundation, that they can see everything that they need to do. Even let's say the water shutoff valve.
Yeah.
Make that accessible to the inspector so that they can't red flag.
Can I take it back just a second here? Okay,
Yeah.
We're talking about inspectors. How important is it to have an inspector come in and conduct that inspection in your home before you sell it? What's the significance of that?
Because it's a great question, Rosie, because if you do a pre-inspection, then you can offer it to a buyer that you can say, here's the inspection report. It's free and clear. Or you might be able to get ahead of a problem that you weren't even aware of.
Okay.
And especially now, I hate to say it, but right now everyone's dealing with mice because the mice are coming in.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside, and they need a. You might not realize that you have mice in your insulation.
Okay.
So it's really, really important.
Really important to have that. Okay, next up. Okay, so first off, you've got an inspector coming in, clean and declutter. Next up, make repairs.
So what we were talking about, right? If you have any repairs that you know of, do them now.
Yeah.
And going back to the pre-inspection, you may not know what you need to fix. It may even be something as simple. What I always recommend to our viewers is the fact that why don't you get your furnace fixed or cleaned or serviced, right? If you have your furnace serviced and you can have that receipt and show that your furnace is well taken care of, we can't right now in the cold have the air conditioning adjustified yet.
You can do that.
You can do that.
Okay.
So always important.
All right, next up here, test functionality. What do you mean by that?
So again, making sure that, let's say it's not even your home. Maybe it's your investment home. Maybe it's your parents' home. Make sure that the washer and the dryer and all the appliances are working well. And if they are not, then again, going back to this, make repairs because there are inspectors who will turn on your oven, turn on your fireplace, your
so
gas
you better
fireplace.
make sure everything is working.
Right? So a lot of times the gas fireplace gets forgotten and going back to that, test it.
Okay, and then you mentioned this earlier, provide access. Like you were saying, if you know they're gonna inspect the whole home, don't have a bunch of boxes in the basement that impedes their entry. So make sure that you provide access, right?
And if there are certain homes that have you provide access, maybe there is a valve that is in an odd space. We've experienced that over the 2 decades that I've been doing this. After 20 years, sometimes the valve is hidden because the previous owner covered it up. So let them see it. Also, providing access may also be about a septic tank, a well. So maybe they don't know where it is. So if you can clear out the snow to show where your septic system is, then that's really
There you go. Touch with TrinityStone Realty. And we've got a question for you, via email. So here it is. Bernice asks, how soon should you put your home on the market? So Colleen, I'm assuming here, we're talking about getting ready for maybe spring or summer, the real estate season. So how soon do you want to put it on the market?
So it's a good question. Thank you, Bernice, for dialing in. Yeah. It depends on your home, actually. So we have clients right now who are ready to go on the market this week.
Okay.
So Bernice, I would go back and saying, how ready are you?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Right? How ready are you? Have
Okay.
you been speaking? My team often creates a plan that we did. We met with 3 clients yesterday, and we created a plan that worked for them. So Bernice, are you decluttered? Do you have a plan? Is your backyard beautiful, and should you wait for the snow to melt because you have a gorgeous backyard? Or are you, or is your backyard a little bland, respectfully? Is it just a box, which a lot of us have? And so the snow makes it look even prettier. So when you talk about soon, the spring market's going to get aggressive.
Yes.
And what we are seeing is that we are still going to see a spring market despite the political situation that we have right now, to put nicely. We are still going to see an aggressive market coming this spring.
Okay, Bernice asked the question, how soon should you put your home on the market? I'm going to elaborate a little bit more here, and I'm going to say, what if, you want it, obviously you're putting your home on the market, you want it to sell. What's your average? I know it depends on the home, the location, but what should we expect once we put our house on the market? Should we expect it to be sold within like a month and a half? Like we got to be ready to get up and make that and close the deal?
If not, sometime sooner, depending on where your price point is. If it's in that sweet spot, if it's in a sweet spot of the market, if you're in a location that is very sought after, we are still seeing houses sell within a day.
Okay. That's
so
good to know.
It depends on the location.
Yeah.
So Bernice, feel free to give me a call, give your realtor a call, and so that you can create a plan, because it's always important to create that plan.
Okay, thanks for the question, Bernice. And then we're going to finish up here, inspection checklist for sellers. The final point here that you make is gather documentation. What kind of documentation are we talking about here?
All of it. So if you have done upgrades, if you've done a roof, show that you've done your roof, and it may even be a transferable, warranty, right? So if you have you should always keep documentation. Have you done your roof? Have you serviced your furnace? Whatever you have done, gather it so that you can provide it to your buyers.
Okay, all right, Colleen. Okay, we're moving on here. Inspection checklist for sellers now. And what do you need to be doing during inspection as when you're going to sell the home here? You want to clean and declutter.
Sure.
So that's what we're saying here. I think that we have this already. Yeah.
So we were talking about buyers. Maybe we don't. I don't know if we have it.
Okay.
So with buyers.
With buyers. Now we're talking about buyers. Replace that, sellers with buyers. There you go.
So let's just talk about inspections for buyers. So first and foremost, with buyers, we want you to be there. Okay? We want you to be there. Make the best point of the fact that don't just send. We still have a lot of out-of-town people coming in to buy Ottawa, because Ottawa is very sought after. So with buyers, I want you to be present. I want you to be educated with your homes, because a really good inspection actually educates you on the home. It might even be sinks and toilets.
So you're taking a walk through with the inspector on the home you're about to buy, and then you're learning through him or her the ins and outs, the bones of the home.
Absolutely. So that because the reports can be quite lengthy, and for certain personalities, that's just like, you kind of glaze over, where an inspector can mention the fact that your water shutoff valve is actually in the top corner of the basement, behind the bedroom wall kind of thing. So it's really important to do that. The other thing is learning if there are any issues with the home. This is not a time to renegotiate unless there's something major. Yet, again, being present, you can find out if it's a red flag or just, it's okay.
Okay, Colleen Lyle from TrinityStone Realty. That about wraps up our edition of Ask the Expert. Such a wealth of information here. Really thank you for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure, Rosie.
It's always great to have you on the show. All right, if you want to get in touch with Colleen Lyle from TrinityStone Realty, there's her information on the screen.